Today we're going to do where we remove the LCD out of the Galaxy S4 instead of doing a top level bonding, which will be in some other videos here in the near future. So we just want to remove the back and remove the screws here, like so. In order to pop these out, you just press them in, and they come right out. Okay, and for time strings, I'm going to fast forward. Okay, we removed all the screws here. By the way, this is Dustin Tech MD. That's www.tech-md.com. So we're going to press inward with our plastic tool here and try to get an opening. Anywhere would be nice to get an opening. Sometimes our tool fails us, so we can use our eye sesame tool to get an opening here. Once we get a little bit of an opening, then we can take our plastic tool and run it around. Okay, so still removing this off and around. If you're interested in becoming a tech at TechMD, just go to our website, www.tech-md.com. Learn to be a tech. It's pretty awesome and good money. We're looking for techs all around the US. We're just going to pop off all this here. Careful about these two, they like to break off, which is not good, and then you have to replace it. We'll do a frame transfer later. Now we're going to heat it up. Use a Wagner heat gun with a pointed tip at high heat at 950 degrees on high. I heat this up until it gets hot to the touch. Nice and hot. Take my Walmart hot plate glove, get that in the TV section for like $15. Take your tool, get above the adhesive, keep on sliding it back and forth here until it starts separating. Press in, and kind of angle it up high. Press inward like this. Never bend your tool. It's a good way to break it. Just take your time. This looks like it's been repaired before. The way the glue is separating, I'm pretty confident it has been. Make sure it's still hot. If it starts to get difficult to separate, then we want to heat it up more. definitely been refurbished before. This glue is a lot more difficult to remove. You have to usually use this tool to remove the glue. The glue doesn't roll off, as you can see. Move the home button out of the way. I like to use this side because it's easier to wash off. You spray your chemical on it. It is the orange glow. You can find that at Home Depot. And spread it across. See if this will come loose. Oh, it looks like the glue is coming off. That's good. You can do this with off or on, but I recommend keeping the screen on before peeling it off, and this will help. It will help being able to not break it because you're putting a lot of pressure on it trying to clean the glue off. Take a little acetone and clean it with your Costco rag here. Bigger chunks you can remove with your iSesame tool. Now with top level bonding, you just bond right on top and start gluing down. A little bit different method. If you want to look at the note for it, you can. I will soon have a top level bonding repair. For now, we're going to do it the way I learned when I first started. The only way to do it the proper way. Gets customers in and out faster and they don't have to worry about glue everywhere. Okay, now that we've got that done, nice and clean. One more time, we're going to heat it up one more time. Nice, hot to the touch. Really hot to the touch there. Here we take our tool, get under there, and then slice straight across. Slice up a little bit, halfway, come over here, and slice. Now sometimes you can get underneath this. Don't worry, just retry again and get between the glass and that plate. Got a slicing motion there. On this side, you want to go straight up to the top. Just a little bit over here, like that. And the reason why is we don't want to break the cables. Push that through. Just like that. Set your frame aside. Now we got the good LCD ready to go. I'm going to put this on a nice flat area. So I'm going to put this right in the center. Now I'm a little cautious about my glue, so I'm going to do 2 rags. So I really don't want my glue to seep through on my plate here. Or on my logo design. And you'll see why we want to do it on a rag here in a second. Well, actually, I can just tell you. doing it on a rag like this, it will absorb all the excess glue that will come over the sides. And this is done without using a mold. If you want to use a mold, then you don't need any of this. I like using the freelancing it here. Okay, get your tube of glue here. Get your sponger. We're gonna make a quick design real fast. Don't leave too much glue there. If you don't do enough, you can always redo. If you do too much, well, it's a mess to clean up. Just like that. If you have any bubbles or anything like that, clean it up. Got a bubble right there or something along those lines, just pick it out, pop it with a toothpick, whatever it takes to get bubbles out. Now we're going to take our glass, make sure we get the right color. Obviously that was the wrong color. There's the right color. Make sure your orientation is right. The cable's up top for the Galaxy 4. Other displays can be different. Alright, and then we're just going to start setting it down and letting it slowly spread across. I like to take my tool once again and slowly set it down. Not too fast or you get bubbles. Now if you get bubbles, you can always press them out, but it can cause a warranty issue if you have the glue too thin, and that warranty issue is where the glue starts separating from the display later on. Either that, the glue will start separating because it hasn't been bonded long enough too. So always do a safe 10-minute bond. It's always worked for me, and in the past I've had a lot of issues with timing, so I've just stuck with 10 minutes. So set something moderately heavy like this thing of glue, alcohol. And just let the glue slowly spread across. Now you can use a light or flashlight on your phone or whatnot to check alignment here with your phone. Make sure the alignment's good. And that's super rare for bubbles to come up. That means I had the glue slightly too thin. So let's see if it'll go down. What you can do, you can help it out and press some glue over that way. So I can see the alignment already, so I don't need to do a light, but sometimes you need alignment. Sometimes you need to use a light for alignment is what I meant to say. Okay, so it's perfectly aligned, and perfectly entails very perfectly. Make sure it's square inside of that S4. Okay, we're gonna do this for 1 minute. So I'll just take my watch here and start it for 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute's passed. I'm gonna pause my timer and move this out of the way for a minute. We're going to clean up all the soft glue. It's not, obviously bonded yet. I'm gonna take some alcohol and wipe off any excess glue on top that got leaked over. And this is why we want to use the rag here. In 1 second you'll see. The rag is amazing because it soaks up all that excess glue. See all that? We just wipe it off, any extra. That way it has a perfect clean surface. And we'll check the eye at the very end to make sure the eye is super clean. For now, we just need to make sure it's mostly clean, ready for bonding. Put the bonding light back over it. Then we're going to start our timer again and for 9 more minutes, so a total of 10. Okay, so while that is going, we are going to prep the old frame. Now, so we're using the old LCD, so it's not gonna have fresh adhesive, so we have to put new adhesive on. We wanna try to keep this tape on, and that is something from keeping the LCD shorting out. Beyond that, I really don't know, but I know that if you don't have it there, LCD will tend to short out. So take your Costco rag and acetone and just wipe off all the old adhesive. This will help with a good connection with the new adhesive. Nice clean surface. You get the idea. Clean everywhere. Okay, so now it's nice and clean and we can put a new adhesive on. Now see, if you notice the frame is really damaged, really bad, you should suggest to the customer to get a new frame. So we charge $30 for the new frame, and we just transfer all these small parts over to a brand new frame. And then you can heat this up lightly and then just peel it off with your ice sesame tool and peel it over to the other one. So it's not perfect, it doesn't always come off right, so don't worry about it too much. The serial number is already in the phone. But you do have to match up these numbers based on the frame, so be careful of that. AT&T and T-Mobile are the same, Verizon and Sprint are the same unless it's the I-9505, then that's a separate frame and that's for Sprint. Also there's the I-9500 for the international models frame as well. So they're all different frames based on the carrier, so be cautious of that. Make sure you have it in stock. Now that's the whole point of doing this bonding when we remove this LCD, is because we're going to have to remove it anyways. We're going to bond it on the top, or not going to bond it on the top, we're going to bond it on that rag there, and then we're going to put it into the new frame. So later I'll have a video when I have a customer. And just go all the way from the top to the bottom there. Alignment is important, and it means everything when it comes to the screen. Obviously you have to have a perfect alignment so the screen goes in just fine. Now, before you start peeling this adhesive up, you want to put your motherboard in here and then test your screen if you're unsure if you did a good job. Also, this frame can be replaced. I only charge $15 to replace this frame here. And they are slightly different. You use the alcohol bottle, that will actually make your levels perfect with the glue. You don't want it too thick or it'll stick out. You just want to make sure you have a nice level of thickness with the LCD. So we still got a few minutes and I'm finished here. I'm going to pause the video and we're going to get to the next part of the video here shortly. One other thing, top level bonding. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes here. Now what we want to do is rotate the screen in the bonding light upside down. And we just need to do this for 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute has passed. We can turn off our bonding light now. Oh, you can get the bonding light at Sally's too for $80. Replacement bulbs for $20. I'm gonna peel off the Samsung logo here. Okay, now our final step, which is pretty critical, is we have to put a little bit of Gorilla Glue on the corners here. And the reason why we do this, ensure that we have a good connection. I have the customers put it under weight for 2 hours. Weight like a case of water, about 10 pounds of weight. This just ensures a good seal. Be careful about your corners here, your sides. Do not put too much Gorilla Glue on. If you do, just spread it around. Like this right here, I put too much. Just gotta spread it around really good. You don't want too much, it'll crack the LCD. Just a thin coat. That's all you need. Okay, wipe off your blade. Close your Gorilla Glue lid. I always forget that. Then my Gorilla Glue dries out and I get pissed off. Okay, now we gotta check through the eye. So what I like to do is look through the sun or something bright and check through the eye, okay? That's what I'm gonna do right now. So mine's a little dirty. I'll take a rag and I'm going to use acetone to wipe off the dirty eye, both sides. Make sure it's nice and clear. And this is the camera eye. That's the only one that we're concerned about. So now we got a nice and clear eye. I'm gonna put it through the hole here. Line it up. Make sure your button's still there. And press down carefully. If you had just the right amount of thickness, then your screen will sit in there perfectly and not bulge out. It's coming up a little bit. As you can see, it's a little spongy here. That's where that Gorilla Glue under pressure will come into play. But you don't have to worry about glue this way. I did forget to mention, bonding it on the bottom will make sure that any excess glue that didn't get dried will get dried under that bonding light. If you see any excess glue after bonding it for 10 minutes, re-wipe it down, then bond the rest for 10 minutes. You don't want to have to wipe off hardened glue. It's not easy. Okay, so we put all the clips back in here. At this point, you can test it again. If you feel you're a noob at this, press this in. Press it all around. Now, if this doesn't press in all the way, that means that when you change the cables around, it's not lined up perfectly. Once again, we're gonna make a video here with replacing all those here shortly. Put the SIM card in. Battery in, and while we're turning it on here, we'll screw it down until it vibrates. Make sure it's all working. We'll test it here once we're done finishing up with the screws. Make sure you get a tempered glass screen protector with your phone to protect it against frontal impacts, scratches, and pressure breaks. Really important. That you need a case to protect your sides. I recommend ballistic cases. They are the best. They're rated for 6 foot. All the other cases out there, well, I don't know. Can't say much for them. Okay, this guy didn't have a back on his phone. I didn't get the password from him, but it obviously looks like it's working here. Great. And now the final touch-up. Make sure it's clean here. If they got a long drive, you want to use that red adhesive tape that I used earlier to tape down the sides. So you're going to tape it around all sides here. That ensures that it has a good seal. Customer's not coming back for a while, so I'm going to do it for them. Just going to put it under a case of water. Just get nice and clean. And that's it, just a little acetone and alcohol. You got a clean screen and phone ready to go. This is Dustin with TechMD. That's www.tech-md.com. If you want to become a tech, give me a call at 801-960-2836 and ask for Dustin. Thank you.